It's time for 24/7 Kevin Basketball TV. Let's welcome Urbana University Hall of Famer Kevin Cook.
Welcome on in to 24/7 Kevin BBTV, where we're going to be talking hoops, and specifically the top 10 women's basketball players of all time. And that is not an easy task, as there have been many, many great players. We're going to narrow it to 10, and then the top 5 will go on the mythical women's basketball Mt.Rushmore. Quick quiz. Where is Mt.Rushmore, and who are the 4 people that are carved out with gigantic heads? Time's up. Mt.Rushmore is in Black Hills, South Dakota, at the National Tourist Trap, the National Park. I think they carve those guys' heads to get people to visit South Dakota. Not many even know who the 4 men are that are carved out of that big piece of granite. But they are George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Abe Lincoln, and Teddy Roosevelt. Teddy Roosevelt? How'd he get on there? Who knows? Anyway, let's get on with the task at hand and name my top 10 greatest women's basketball players of all time. The criteria is as follows. What have they done at the collegiate level, either AIAW or NCAA? The next criteria is their production and greatness at the WNBA level. The next criteria is their USA basketball experience and gold medals won. There are so many great players. Let's look at the list of oh so close. Let's begin with Nera White. Not many of you watching this have probably ever heard of Nera White. She was 15 years in a row named AAU All-American. You see, before they had college basketball, they had national AAU tournaments 15 years in a row. Nera died about 13 months ago at the age of 80 in Tennessee. Legend has it she could take off from the dotted circle and dunk a basketball. Nera White. The next player up, who is close, Ann Myers, a 4-time All-American at UCLA, and actually went to training camp with the Indiana Pacers. Ann Myers. Eugenia O'Connor, a great player for Van Chancellor at Ole Miss. Janice Lawrence Braxton, perhaps the greatest lady texter in the history of Louisiana Tech basketball. These next 2 will forever be linked. The dynamic duo for the Georgia Dogs, Teresa Edwards and Katrina McClain. Great players. Dawn Staley, Miss USA Basketball, and Katie Smith from Ohio State. Yolanda Griffith, right there. The player from the Himalayas, was a great player, just did not do enough at the collegiate level to warrant her cracking the top 10. Another Ole Miss great, Jen Gillum, who played for the Phoenix Mercury in the WNBA. EDD, Elena Del Don, one of the current stars. It remains to be seen whether she'll move up. Brittany Griner, who when I saw at Houston Nimitz High School, thought she had the chance to be the greatest women's player to ever walk the face of the earth. And perhaps the most decorated player not to make the top 10 list, Sue B. Honey. That's right, Sue Bird, first team All-WNBA at the age of 35 last year. She's like the Timex watch. A lot of injuries, but she keeps on ticking. Now, let's reveal Kevin Cook's top 10 women's basketball players of all time. Number 10, Tina Thompson, the USC great, who is the all-time leading scorer in the history of the WNBA. Tina Thompson, now age 42 and an assistant coach with the Texas Longhorns. She's 6'2", went to high school at Morningside High, and just one of the big three of the Houston Comets. Tina Thompson, number 10. Here's a little tease for you. There were 4 USC Trojans to make the list. 2 from Tennessee, 2 from UConn, and we'll leave the remaining 2 so we don't give too much away. At number 9, also from USC, Cheryl Miller. Cheryl Miller from Riverside, California. She's 54 now. She's a 6'2" do-it-all in the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame. She won national titles. She was a coach in the WNBA, but her knees gave out before she could actually impact the WNBA. And this prevents her from going to the mythical Mt.Rushmore top 5, but a great, great player, Cheryl Miller. Now, at number 8, the youngest player on our list, age 27, she plays for the Minnesota Lynx, Maya Moore. Maya Moore is as complete a basketball player as you will find. And I think a very deserving diaper dandy as far as it goes on this list. Next up, at number 7, we have Candace Parker. Candace Parker was left off of the last Olympic team, and she used that snub to motivate her into winning her first WNBA championship. Candace is 31, 6'4", and was the first known dunker in the modern women's era. Now then, number 6, it was like splitting hairs. She has done so much in the game of basketball. Tamika Catchings. Catch very well could have made the top 5. A great player, age 37, went to Tennessee, starred with the triplets, in the three meets and just accomplished just about everything that you could accomplish in this game. A WNBA champion, a finals MVP, a season-long MVP in 2011, six-time Defensive Player of the Year. She was as complete a player as you would ever want. At number 5 on the list, the lone Kansas Jayhawk, Lynette Woodard, a 4-time All-American at KU, the all-time leading scorer in the history of the women's game, 3,649 points. And that was with the big basketball and without the three-point line. She was a gifted player who, like a musician, played by ear without the notes. She could play point guard. She could play all 5 positions. And at different times throughout her 4-year career at Kansas, she led the nation in scoring, rebounding, and steals. Wow. Lynette is now 56 years old and the head coach at Winthrop University. Now then, at number 4, Dirty Diana Taurasi. Do we call her dirty because she's a dirty player? Oh no. Because Michael Jackson, we don't know if he was singing this to Diana Taurasi. Dirty Diana almost single-handedly won the national championship for UConn one of those years. She can flat out score in the dark. Diana Taurasi, very deserving to be in our Mt.Rushmore. Now we've got 2 of the starting 5. Who will be the remaining 3? Yes, from Texas Tech, we've got Cheryl Swoops, another one of the Houston Comets' big 3. Cheryl is now 46, recently inducted into the Naismith Hall of Fame, and she was one of the most gifted athletes that I have ever seen and had the pleasure of being around. Just fluid and smooth. When she was at college at Texas Tech, she scored over 40 to beat Ohio State in the national championship game, was a multiple-time Olympian gold medal winner, multiple-time WNBA MVP, just could do it all. And once she stepped across the line, she had one of the greatest basketball IQs that you will ever find. We're down to the final 2. Who is it going to be? Number 2 on our list, a USC Trojan, Cynthia Cooper, the greatest competitor I have ever seen in the women's basketball game. She hated to lose more than she loved to win. Think about that. She hated to lose more than she loved to win. Cynthia Cooper was a great scorer and, when the game was on the line, a great defender. At the late stages of her career, she led the Comets to 4 straight WNBA championships. In each of those 4 years, she was named Championship Series MVP. Coop to the hoop. Cynthia Cooper joins our list of 5 to be carved out of Mount Rushmore, women's basketball style. Now, we've named 3 of the 4 USC Trojans to make our top 10 list. It is time to reveal the greatest player in the history of women's basketball. Another that went to Morningside High School, Lisa Leslie, the African Queen, who many like to call her as a great compliment because she played the game with grace and has great integrity and dignity off the court. Lisa Leslie could do it all. Throw it down to her on the block and she would score. She constantly worked on her game, and after the run that the Houston Comets had, she broke through to win WNBA championships with the Los Angeles Sparks. So, there you have it. Let's run down the top 10 for you one more time. Tina Thompson, Cheryl Miller, Maya Moore, Candace Parker, Tamika Catchings, Lynette Woodard, Diana Taurasi, Cheryl Swoops, Cynthia Cooper, and Lisa Leslie. That is quite a list. I want to thank you for all of the comments that I received on segment 1. I hope that this list will cause a lot of discussion. It's okay if you disagree with me. I know I've left out a couple that deservedly need to be on there. It's a very hard task. But to make the women's basketball game relevant, we must celebrate the history of the game. I hope you've enjoyed segment 2, and if you have, give me a thumbs up, like button, and subscribe to 24/7 KCBB TV, and you'll never miss a show. Until next time, peace, love, and happiness. Bye-bye.